Okay, obviously our third win in this quarter of the season, which gets us to 3. You know, we have a little bye week here, which we'll be able to get a lot of much-needed work done for our team across the board. Again, I think we'll have some time to do some things that we really need to get done here to kind of keep getting a little better every week. Today, I really felt like going into today that first down was going to be a critical down for us. Some of the other sexier downs get a little more talk, and some of the other areas of the field get a little more talk. But again, I think if you're playing a team like San Francisco that's been one of the top teams in the league on first down through 2 games on both sides of the ball, that became a real critical down for us. And I thought, I don't know the numbers yet, but I really felt across the board, offensively and defensively, that the guys understood that. They played together. They made plays on first down, which then made other situations much more manageable across the board. Okay? So first down was real critical for us. We had to be physical, which we were, which I think, it's clear. You can see this team likes to run and hit across the board. They don't mind getting into it a little bit from a physical standpoint, and that's just the way it's got to be. They understand it. Our guys understand it, and they're willing to go out there and slug it out a little bit, which proved to our benefit today. The final thing was, turnovers, and we turned them over on downs a few times. We got the one interception. We had one, down the left sideline that we can't allow to happen. It was a heck of a play by the corner, but again, that's one of those that we're working the heck out of trying not to allow to happen. We just got to do a little better job in a couple different areas of not allowing that to happen. Again, that's a multiple person error, or turnover, in my opinion, without watching the tape. Proud of the guys. They are working every day, doing the things that you have to do to continue to get better. That wasn't score-wise what I was necessarily expecting, but I'll take it, and I know they will. And now we got a little time here to, like I said, to get back after it, get better. But again, with the bye week, that'll be a great chance for us to kind of try to make improvements that we clearly need across the board, both coaching and playing. So, any questions?
Coach, this one wasn't ugly. I mean, this was a pretty solid beat down by you guys on them. You won't say that, I will. But what was the difference? Why this looked like offense, even special teams? First down,
in my opinion.
Coach, can you talk about the pass rush a little bit? You guys got 4 sacks today. It's been a while since the Chiefs have been able to get after the quarterback like that.
Yeah, sacks are a number that people like to get excited about, but you can disrupt the passer. We've said that all week last an extended period of time. I've been talking about that there are ways to disrupt the passer without actually getting them on the ground. And even without even hitting them at times. Our plan was, we had a specific plan that we wanted to handle this quarterback that was playing at a real high level. Alex, who is a tough competitor and plays hard and is going to be one of the good quarterbacks in this league. So we had a plan, and it worked out that we were able to get off a couple blocks and get some sacks. So, I know the guys are excited about that, but, the way we're trying to do things, it does not revolve around sacks.
Todd, you said before that your team doesn't necessarily right now have a lot of margin for error. The way you coached today would indicate you seem to think it does. I mean, you went for it on 4th down. You tried an onside kick. I mean, are you starting to have more confidence in this team than maybe you did a couple of weeks ago even?
No, I think, Adam, that's me. I don't think I've changed a whole bunch over the last handful of years, at least when I've been in a position to have some say-so in what plays are getting called. I just think there's games that you can and games that you can't, and this was one that we had a clear-cut plan that we thought we could get some things done. we didn't get all the things done. Obviously, we could have. That's one of the things we got to continue to work on. But I haven't changed from that standpoint. I mean, I think I don't want to talk about last year, but there were plenty of opportunities over the last few years to know that there's some risk-reward plays that are going to have to be called in games.
You feel like you are getting to a point now you can be more aggressive? I mean, today it was as aggressive as I think I've seen you coach. Is that just a comfort thing, or is that just a today thing?
Oh, I think it's a weekly thing, Ken. Like I said, there's going to be some weeks where our coaches are working hard to try to find ways we can operate and get things done. We're in the process of laying a foundation here. We've got an influx of new players, both last year and this year. We've got some of our players that have been here for now 2 years for us, and we're still trying to figure out what everybody's top end is. And I'm just encouraged that it appears to me we got a number of guys that aren't going to be willing to accept bars being set on what they can do. But at the same time, we had 45 guys today, 44 today, that 44. Brody's the only one, and he was contributing like heck on the sideline, Brody Croyle, but even our extra lineman, Osmo was in there a bunch. I don't know how many snaps he got, but we had 44 guys contributing today, and I'll bump that total up because we had a few of our veteran-type guys that are really understand what we're trying to get done. We're out even on the sideline helping, even though they couldn't have the uniform on. So, that's what we're trying to get.
Why did you feel like today you could kind of go for it today a little bit?
Again, I think every game's different. Every game is different. To win a game, you got to play better than your opponent, and that is really all that it's about. That is all that it's about, is play better than your opponent for the entire 60 minutes, 75 minutes, whatever the length of a game can be, on the clock with overtime. So, today we were fortunately able to do that, but that came through, a real good week of practice and preparation that the guys knew, they had an opportunity here to gain some ground, and that was good.
Tom, you mentioned having a lot of stuff to work on during the bye week. What would you say is the number one thing this team needs to focus on to keep improving?
Because we are a team in transition. We've been a team that hadn't won a lot of games in a number of years. A team with great history, tradition, one of the great teams in the league, in my opinion. Why I was so excited to be here. But we have not won. The Kansas City Chiefs have not won very many games, or have not accomplished what the purpose, of this, of having a team here and playing is. And we're in the process of trying to change that. And that's exactly where we are. We worked real hard to lay a foundation last year, which will be one of the more painful years anybody in that locker room has to endure. Coaches included, but that's just the way that it was. And now we're continuing that process and foundation laying through the off-season, preseason, training camp, and now 3 games into this 2010 season. And that's really all we are right now is, we're 3 games into the first quarter of the season, trying like heck to try to make that transition from a not-so-good team into a good team sooner rather than later. But we're by no means there. So a bye week for this group of guys, will be a great opportunity for us to, to try to continue to make strides.
Coach,
One of the things I wanted to ask you, you talk about laying a foundation, of course, laying it on the offensive and defensive side. Last season, of course, a guy like Holly had to make the switch that he made.
Tom, did you say Holly? All right.
Talk about not just only his performance just today, but just the fact that he had to make the kind of transition he's had to make.
Well, Tom was one of a large number, a bigger than a handful group of players that were here and doing things one way that for whatever reason wasn't the way that was going to work. And myself and my staff, we have a belief in how you how you have to do things to be a consistently good team from the coaching side of it, and I think that Tom, Glenn Dorsey, Jamal Charles, Derek Johnson, Brandon Albert, Brian Water, you know, you can go down the list. I don't want to forget somebody, but Brandon Flowers, Brandon Carr, you know, we got a lot of guys that fall in that group that are young players in the league that hadn't won a lot of games for whatever reason, that now want to win games and want to be part of something special and something good. And I've just tried to be very consistent with that message, you know, to them, and anytime I have a chance to talk about it, because you know, that's the plan, and I know I'm not going to waver, you know, I'm not going to waver, and I know this quarterback, why I like him so much, because I know he's not going to waver and he's not going to crack. You know, I think that's the way you have success in any business. You know, you better believe in what you believe in, and if it has some fundamentals that give it a chance of success, if you stay with those beliefs and you're willing to put the pressure and the push and some of the less fun things into it, you know, early on, that, you know, I think you can get a bunch of employees thinking like-mindedly, and that's what we're doing. You know, and the players and the coaches, you know, we're starting to become a team.
You seem, not to play psychologist, you seem really like emotional coming in here, and more than usual, and fired up. Like not the way I guess, you know, I think some would assume after a really good game. Was this, I don't know, vindication? Was this the way you guys had a game sealed up? I mean, am I reading into it too much? I mean, do you feel the same way you did after the Cleveland win, or the same?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel exactly the same. Exactly the same. I think that one of the pitfalls in this business is thinking that you've accomplished something, which I think across the board from an employment standpoint, you know, pretty much whatever you're doing, you know, that if you get feeling like you've accomplished much, generally, you know, the trap door is about ready to open underneath you, and you're going to make a long fall into some ugly water. So that's the way I believe. That's the way I've always believed. That's the way I coach. That's the way I was raised and taught. And again, we're 3 games into the first quarter of the season. We haven't done anything. You know, I was on a team that won 3 games in 2000. They won the first 3 games. Okay, nobody else remembers that team but those of us that were on it. So we haven't done anything yet. We got a long way to go, and I'm grateful we got a bye week. So I would say no to your question of being any different.
You mentioned the quarters of the season again. When last year it seemed, you know, you guys weren't playing well in the beginning, so it was a good way to, you know, get rid of it. All right, we were 0-4, 1-3 that quarter, move on. If you guys are, you know, maybe 4-0 going into the next one, is there any thought that, you know, we want to build on that, or do you still like the approach of erasing it for 0-0?
No, you do the same things the same way. Obviously, the circumstances, the variables change, and I do believe that it's the people that amongst you know, during that change or the adjustment or the difference in variables that you're seeing, the people in this business, both players and coaches, that are able to adjust on the fly to the varying situations they're going to run into, are the ones that end up being able to have extended success. That being said, last year, this year, 2008, 2007, all the way back to when I started coaching, you know, I've broken the season up in quarters. It's the way I used to break my golf scorecard up, 3 holes at a time. You know, and if you could make 12 in 3, then you had a chance to shoot 36 through 9 holes. And if you just kept making 12, now one set of 3 holes you might have 14, then the next one you might have 10. But I knew that if I broke it up like that, that I'd have a chance of not getting too high or too low, and that's just what I've done for a long time and believe in, and will stay believing that. So,
all right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.